So as we look ahead to these U21 World Championships in Ireland coming up in August, we've got Ireland head coach Tom Pryor joining us now. Tom, this has been a long time coming for this tournament and obviously for this team. What's the excitement level as you know you're just a couple of weeks out from having a chance to take a team there to Ireland and perform as the host country?
It's a tremendous amount of excitement. There's also I was part of the program in 2003 when we first competed in Australia, and now we finally have an opportunity to host it. It'd be remiss if I didn't mention guys who were influential, who got us to this point. Richie Moran and Jimmy Carroll. This is a vision that those guys had, and now we're 20 years later, and now we have an opportunity to host an event. And I know Mike Kennedy is he's our CEO. I know he's running around like a chicken without a head right now, trying to make sure he's covered all the bases. And thank God the lacrosse community is they're a very close-knit group. They're fraternal still, and I know Mike's going to get a lot of support. But it's very exciting as I was a former player as well, and now to be able to host these games and see how other countries have been so inviting to us, and now we have an opportunity to invite other countries. I think it's awesome. It's great for the sport. Ireland needs it to expand lacrosse, and obviously, we need it as an affirmation of our program.
Yeah, but what does make it? You touch on that a little bit more. What does make hosting so special?
Well, I think hosting so special is having grown as an organization, and then to be able to host, have World Lacrosse behind us and allow us to host it, allows us to really expose the game of lacrosse, not only to the other countries that are visiting, but also to Ireland itself. We need to grow the sport there. And, it's great that Ireland's going to have lacrosse in their own backyard right now, and they're going to see a high level of play, and they're going to see the multitude of countries that are playing in it, and they'll see the fraternity behind it. It's not only great for the growth of lacrosse, but it's also great for growth of lacrosse in Europe. And after COVID, everyone's had loss in COVID, and it's kind of like a deeper meaning. Guys, this has been trying to be planned for a couple of years now. We had canceled twice, and now we get a chance to go. So it's going to be a great thing to see the whole world of lacrosse, beat one area, just like the women's game did, and a chance to, expose that sport and show the sport, and also a chance, to get out of COVID. It gives us a victory, a victory in itself, victory for all the countries involved as well. And, we hope, we as a Team Ireland, we put our best foot forward, and we play with some grit, we play with some passion, and we play smart lacrosse.
So let's talk about that team on the field. I know you were the coach in the Czech Republic when this team competed in the U20 European Championships back in 2019. And I know you said that part of that group is back together to help kind of form a nucleus of this year's group. That was a team that you took to the semifinals of those European Championships. How do you look to build off of that performance from a couple of years ago?
Well, it's funny you say that, because the last taste in those guys' mouth, I think was our, we ended up losing to England in a close game at the end. England left it on the field just like we did, and the guys played their tails off just like our team did, and they won the game by a goal. But in our mouth and in our play, it was a tough pill to swallow, because we played better than them in the second half of the game. They played better than us in the first half of the game, and it was a bitter pill to swallow, because we lost right at the end of the game, and a lot of guys are left from that team. And our goalie's back. There's a Brody Moore, and we have some guys on defense that are back. So that sentiment is still in our guys' mouths. They're just still hungry from that game, And not that they're against England being hungry, but that was a bitter pill to swallow that day, and they're hungry now. They get it, they get the calamity of that type of event, and they understand the immediacy of being being able to play, and make good decisions and be the best version of yourself in those moments. And hopefully we learn from that. And that was bitter pill is swallowed, but hopefully we learn from that moving forward and playing now. And we got some new guys added in there, and we lost some good guys, but we've also replaced some guys. So it's going to be an interesting situation for us right now. So, but it's just like that for the other teams as well. And we had a good run, like you said, in the Czech Republic there, and the Czech Republic did an awesome job hosting us, and we want to share that back with them. And that was a great situation for us. And hopefully it's part of the building blocks for us right now.
People might look at this, this tournament and say, oh, they've got a couple more years to get ready and get the guys playing together. We were just talking off camera about the fact that that's not the case at all, that for a lot of these groups and teams, because of player turnover or guys aging out, everyone's got to get acclimated pretty quickly here. How much is that a challenge for you guys?
It's interesting. And what's more interesting about it it seems like such a hurdle, but I think because of, missing, time with COVID situation affecting us, then being postponed, I think it's made for coach forced. It's really, provided a vantage point for, like I said, where coaches now have to talk to each other and engage each other more and communicate more to get things done now. It's actually, I think it's, even though it's a difficult, there's been some frustrations behind it. Now I think there's more adaptability with people and with coaches. And like I said, I just gotten off the phone with Brendan Mullen, the China coach. We had a great talk. Shared a lot of the things that same battles and hurdles that they had to climb, or we have to climb as well. And I think it's actually guys are doing, coaches are doing the right thing and trying to get, the best version of their team they can, and get them the most amount of experiences they can up until the games, so they're ready.
So we were talking about this a little bit before, but in getting your team ready, you head over and you get the team all together for training camp early August. But it won't be just your team. You're scrimmaging against some other teams that will be competing in this tournament leading up. Walk people through what that kind of build-up process will be like for this team as you get ready for these World Championships.
Well, when we first get there, when we first arrive, it's got to be more about us and working on what we have to work on. We've been, the last time I've seen the guys was in June. We were able to do a tryout situation, but I didn't have the whole team. So now it's going to be an opportunity for us to gel the whole team. So the first day or two, we live on Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be about, working on us. Then we're going to go right into some scrimmage situation because, we open up with Germany the first game. Germany's good, man. They're going to be ready. They're well coached. They got a strong team. They got great athletes there, and they got tough kids. So we're up against the battle. Right? We got to be ready to go right away. And Germany's going to be a good test. They're good. They're a good team. And like I said, they're going to be ready to go too. And building up into that, we have to be ready to play them. And that's going to be a good competitive situation for us to start the games off.
I'm just curious. Obviously, the last time this was played was 2016. Feels like a very long time ago. And I'm just curious from your perspective, how has lacrosse internationally maybe changed since then? 6 years ago, what do you think has changed the most?
I think what's really, the game does. I wouldn't say the game has really evolved in such a big way. Like, the strategies remain the same. The matchups, it's all about matchups. I think the biggest thing off the field for us, I've seen this year better than any other build up to previous World Games, is the level of communication between the coaches. I think it's been circumstantial, and I think guys understand. The other coaches we're coaching against, they understand the need to have exposure and play and provide the best scenarios for your team to be in terms of competition and preparing for the games. Previous to this, we took things for granted. Like, oh, you roll into practice, you go play. You go to camp for 4 or 5 days and rock and roll. You go in and play. Now all this stuff with COVID, guys got to reaffirm with each other, hey, we're good to go. We'll go at this time. And because we're, what's interesting, different prior to other games, is many of the teams, like we're practicing at UCD and having our camp there. There's other countries that are going to be there, which is interesting because other countries will be doing their camps. So it's pretty cool because you're going to be provided a situation where you can compete against other teams that I think before COVID, because of the travel concerns with COVID, it's all. I think it's going to help. It's going to help us have a good kind of a preseason or a build up into the games, and we'll have a sense of community, amongst the teams before we even get to Limerick, which I think is interesting,
Can you sneak in any scouting, when you're doing that? Is that fair?
It's funny. It's funny you say that. You kind of don't want to, you don't want to bang, you guys know, you don't want to bang heads with the teams you're going to be in your pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hope the guys you're playing with will sell you out. So, but I think at the same time, those, there's a sense of innocence because everyone was subject to the same separation, so like there is a sense of innocence behind it that, that's respected, like the Jack coach, which I won't talk, he's like, Tom, we had to revamp our whole team. I'm like, dude, we had to do the same thing we did it in June. I go, and kids call me up and say, Coach, I got an internship. I can't be there. I'm sorry. I'm like, listen, I can't, negotiate with a kid that wants to do something to better his career life. I'm like, you got to do what you got to do, buddy. We're going to miss you, but we'll be thinking about you, and I know you'll be backing us. So, but those other countries ran into the same conflict. So, there is a sense of innocence behind it. That's that kind of, I think, makes it kind of an even playing field.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out. You look back at 2016, you guys had a really impressive finish, 7th place. What are the expectations? Do you set them going in? Like, how do you kind of talk to the team about that?
No, I don't. I think what you don't want to set the expectations are obviously you want to get in the gold medal game. That's your expectations, right? That's everyone's expectations. But I really think what you have to do, you have to work, you have to play in the now, and I think you have to work on getting better as a team each time you touch the field, and off the field you got to work on supporting your teammates. Like, the close team sometimes in these events, and you guys know that sometimes the best team doesn't win. Sometimes the closer team wins, and the day-to-day battles and doing the right thing off the field, following your curfews, coming into camp in shape, playing with grit. These are the things we're going to, these guys know that their expectations going to be high, just like the other countries, their expectations high. They're not going there, they're not going there to settle for something less. My goal is I want our team just to play. I want our team to play with grit. I want them to play blue collar. I don't want them to play smart lacrosse, and I want them to love each other when they're playing. That's the key to success. And that doesn't change whether you're playing football, lacrosse, soccer, it doesn't matter. You want your guys to stick, you want your guys, back each other and play tough and play hard. Remember, they're representing Ireland. So it's a great country with people with a lot of grit. You're representing that country. You represent it, you go out there and you play.
And you get to do it on home soil, which we're all, I know you're excited about. We're excited about it, too. It all starts on August 10th. Tom Pryor, the head coach of Ireland men's lacrosse, the U19 team, U21 team now.
There you go.
We appreciate you joining us here once again. And safe travels and good luck over the course of the next few weeks here, all right?
Hey, guys, thank you for your time interviewing today. And thank you, Allison, for covering lacrosse and for what you guys do for lacrosse and your exposure. And thanks for growing a game that we all love.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, guys. Yep.